Missing people in Las Vegas? Ritsuka asked. Yes. Recently, there's been a case of missing people in Las Vegas lately, where people who came to the city immediately were never seen again. Even for a famous city like Las Vegas, that's a bit too suspicious. I see, but what is Las Vegas famous for? Mashu asked again. Well, it's famous for being the biggest gambling city in the United States. A lot of people spend their money over there for something like that. Anyways, on the outside, it looks normal. But not everything seems to be. Isn't that right, director? Ritsuka asked. Exactly. Because there's one problem that nobody hasn't noticed. And that would be this, Olga Marie said as she began to bring out images of Las Vegas. As you can see, everything looks normal around here right now. However, there's one thing that's been bothering me for a while. And would be this. In an instant, an image of a hotel appeared in front of the screen. The hotel itself was large like any hotel in Las Vegas and has a casino as well. And the name is called the Lotus Hotel and Casino. Eh? A hotel, director? Mashu asked. Exactly. This hotel seems a bit suspicious, because from what I know, a hotel like this never existed. Furthermore, anyone who went in there were never seen again. I have a feeling that this hotel is causing the case of missing people, with the use of magecraft or something from the moonlit world, and they're good at hiding it. I see. So, you want both of us to inspect this hotel then? Ritsuka asked. Yes. And find out what's going on in there. Upon seeing the source of the usual activity, destroy it. Okay. Should we bring a team of servants, just in case? Mashu asked. Yes. However, in order to limit suspicion, you can only bring 2. And remember, don't make a ruckus in Las Vegas. Because cleaning this up will be a pain in the ass later. Anyways, I already reserved hotel reservations along with some American dollars, so you and Mashu can find a place to stay. But remember though, this is not a vacation, so don't let your guard down. And make sure to spend that money wisely. Okay. Ritsuka said. Soon, he and Mashu left the room and headed out towards the hallway. Las Vegas, huh, that's a place I've wanted to visit. He said. Eh? Really, senpai? You wanted to visit Las Vegas? Mashu asked. Yeah. After all, Las Vegas is well known in my world for being a famous city in the desert. It's well known for its gambling, shopping, fine dining, entertainment, and nightlife. Not only that, but there are so many hotels as well. Basically, it's a resort city. Mashu's eyes sparkled upon hearing Ritsuka's description of Las Vegas. Wow. Las Vegas sounds amazing. Yeah. However, at the same time, it's really expensive over there. Really? Yeah. One of my friends went to Las Vegas once last year, and when he came back, you want to know the first thing he said to me? What? The first thing he said to me was that everything in Las Vegas will literally rip your wallet into shreds, and he meant it. He said that everything in Las Vegas was overpriced. In fact, do you want to know how much a cup of coffee costs over there? How much? $6 American. And for a small size too. Ritsuka slightly ranted. Mashu was slightly taken back from the example Ritsuka just gave to her. Eh? $6 American for a small cup of coffee? That sounds like, well, a rip-off. You can say that again. Ritsuka said with a sigh at the end. Anyways, I'll start getting ready. You should probably do the same thing, Mashu. Yeah, senpai, but which servants should we take with us? Mashu asked. I think I may have the solution to that. The next day, Shirou slightly glanced at the airplane window he was at nearby. As he did, a few thoughts came into his head. Wow, I can't believe I'm traveling to Las Vegas, and with a private plane of all things. In fact, I'm even more surprised that Chaldea has their own private plane. Shirou, are you okay? A familiar voice asked. Shirou heard the familiar voice and turned around to see ruler Arturia, who was sitting next to him wearing a fancy white dress that showed the upper part of her cleavage and some parts of her legs, and was wearing a white floral hat. Yeah. I'm fine, Arturia. It's just that, well, this is my first time on a private airplane. Not only that, but we're going to Las Vegas, a well-known city. Oh? Does it excite you a bit? Ruler Arturia asked. Well, honestly, I never thought about spending time in Las Vegas before, so a part of me feels excited to go there. You didn't go there on your travels before? Not quite actually. I wasn't a fan of gambling to begin with, so I just avoided the place. I see. It was then an announcement on the plane was made. Excuse me, passengers, we will be arriving in Las Vegas with 2 hours, so sit tight and relax. That is all. Shirou let out a small sigh. 1 hour, huh? Well, we can't do anything right now, so I guess we'll wait. Yeah. For now, let's rest until we arrive at the airport. Once we're settled in with the reservations, we'll find the source of the problem that's going on in Las Vegas along with Master, Ruler Arturia said as she placed her hand on Shirou's hand. You're right, Arturia, Shirou said before he let out a small yawn. As he did, Ruler Arturia got closer to him, allowing him to rest his head on her shoulder. He mumbled before he fell asleep. Ruler Arturia let out a small giggle before playing with his hair. Meanwhile, both Ritsuka and Mashu were watching the scene with awe in their eyes. Wow, even though we're on a mission, Shirou-san and Ruler Arturia-san can find comfort in each other. Mashu said with a smile on her face. Yeah. Ritsuka said. Man, it's too hot outside. Ritsuka thought to himself as he was walking down the Las Vegas Strip, searching for any usage of magecraft or anything suspicious. Let's see here, the Las Vegas Strip seems to be crowded as always, so many people going into the casinos, restaurants, and many other places. Looks normal, I guess, even though the director already mentioned that anyone who gambled all of their money were never seen again. As he was walking, he felt his cell phone vibrating in his pocket, making him pick it up. As he did, he checked who the caller was, which was Mashu. Hello. Senpai, how are things on your hand? Mashu asked. Everything seems to be normal around the Lotus Hotel and Casino. I don't see anything suspicious going on or see any hint of magecraft around here. How are things on your end? Ritsuka replied. Well, I don't see anything on my end as well. Everything seems to be normal on my end as well, Mashu replied. I see. Well, let's continue to search for now. Okay. See you later, senpai. Yeah, see you later, Mashu. Ritsuka then hung up. As he did, he heard Shirou's voice in his head. Master. Shirou, did you find out about something on your end? Yeah. Me and Arturia did find something interesting about that hotel that all of us should know about. Really? Yeah. I think we should head back to the hotel to think of a plan. Good idea. A few minutes later, back in the hotel Shirou, Ruler Arturia, Ritsuka, and Mashu were staying at. So, you and Arturia found something interesting about the hotel? Ritsuka asked. Well, I asked the locals around here about information about that hotel. Turns out that the hotel we're talking about just suddenly popped out of nowhere without any warning or any signs of construction for the past few days. If anything, that sounds suspicious here. Shirou said. Shirou's got a good point. If a hotel like this pops out of nowhere without any sign of warning or so, it seems to be very suspicious, Ritsuka said. Yeah. However, it was the next bit of information me and Shirou heard sealed the deal, Ruler Arturia said. Both Ritsuka and Mashu turned to Shirou and Ruler Arturia. What do you mean by that? Mashu asked. Shirou let out a sigh. Well, there's a rumor that once one enters into that hotel, that person will never get out of there ever again. Of course, the hotel officials deny that, but it still sounds suspicious. Ritsuka and Mashu gulped at Shirou's words. Well, looks like we found our target, Ritsuka said. I suggest that we might need to sneak into that hotel at night and find out what's lurking underneath it. Once we find the source, we either apprehend it or destroy it. That's a good idea, senpai. Mashu said with a smile on her face. I agree with that plan, master, Shirou said. As do I, Ruler Arturia said. Great. Now then, me and Mashu will be heading back to our room to get ready while you two do the same, Ritsuka said as he was proceeding to leave. See you tonight. See you tonight, everyone. Mashu said. Soon, Ritsuka and Mashu left the room, leaving Shirou and Ruler Arturia alone together. Well then, looks like we have a hotel to bust, huh? Shirou asked. Yeah. And to think a casino would do something like this, that's unforgivable, Ruler Arturia growled in anger. Shirou then gave Ruler Arturia a hug, calming her down a bit. Relax, once we figure out what's going on in that hotel and bust it, everything will be back to normal. Ruler Arturia let out a small sigh of relief. You're right, Shirou. And the two remained like this for quite a while. Later at night. Well, here we are, the Lotus Hotel and Casino. Remember, when we find out what's going on in this hotel, we destroy it, but for now, let's sneak around to see what's going on here, Ritsuka said as he looked at the entrance of the hotel. Mashu nodded in reply. As she did, she looked at the many people who were coming into the entrance. Senpai, should we stop those people over there from entering in? Ritsuka let out a small sigh. Can we? They're not going to believe a thing what we're about to say. Mashu thought about Ritsuka's words and immediately knew what he was talking about. Yeah, you're right. Ritsuka nodded. Anyways, let's go in. Yeah, Shirou and Ruler Arturia said in unison. Soon, Shirou, Ruler Arturia, Ritsuka, and Mashu headed into the hotel/casino. As they did, they were met with various gazes, due to the outfits they were wearing. Shirou was wearing a fancy black, two-button notch lapel two-piece suit, donned with a white shirt adorned with black pinstripes, a red tie, black dress pants, and black dress shoes. Ritsuka was wearing a suit like Shirou's, only with a black tie instead. Meanwhile, Arturia was wearing a fancy white dress that showed the upper part of her cleavage and some parts of her legs, and was wearing a white floral hat while Mashu was wearing a white formal dress. All in all, a lot of people were looking at them, making Mashu nervous. Senpai, I'm a bit nervous with everyone looking at us. She muttered softly. Ritsuka then held Mashu closer. Relax, Mashu, if you feel uncomfortable, stay by me. Why yes. Master, I suggest that you two would go together while me and Arturia would go together as well, Shirou said. Good idea. How about you, Arturia? I'm in agreement with Shirou's idea, Ruler Arturia said. Great. We'll split up then to find the source. Master, if you found it before us, then use a command seal to summon us where you are. On it. Great. Now we split. And thus, the group split into two, with Shirou going with Ruler Arturia and Ritsuka going with Mashu. Nothing seems to be a bit suspicious around here. Ritsuka said as he was checking around the area of the room he was in along with Mashu. And there's nothing wrong with the people here. Yeah. It's like there's nothing wrong with the hotel itself. I can see why people would come here, considering that everyone here is having fun, Mashu said. Indeed. However, the director did say that something is wrong with this hotel, and the rumors Shirou heard completely makes this place a bit suspicious. Right. Now we just need to find out what is going on here. Ritsuka and Mashu continued to walk in the casino. As they did, they overheard various conversations from many people who were in the casino. Some of which were about personal life, some were about investments, and some were about spending money. Eventually, both Ritsuka and Mashu got tired and sat down on a nearby couch. As they did, Ritsuka let out a small sigh. Well, we've been here, and there's no sign of anything suspicious. Seems so, senpai. For a moment, both didn't say anything as they relaxed on the couch. Then Ritsuka got out of the couch. I'm going to get something to drink. Do you want something, Mashu? And no. I'm good, senpai. Alright then. I'll be back soon. Soon, Ritsuka headed for a nearby bar and asked the bar attendant for a glass of water. As he did, a person came by and sat at a booth next to him. Man. This sucks. Is there something wrong? Ritsuka asked. Nah. It's nothing, just that I lost some money. The person grumbled. Ritsuka let out a chuckle. Hey, that's gambling for you. And it was probably a bad time to lose money in the summer right now. However, the person then said something that shocked and confused him. Huh? Summer? But it's winter right now. Eh? Are you sure? Yeah. January 2017. At that moment, Ritsuka immediately knew that something was wrong and quickly headed towards Mashu. Okay, something is definitely wrong here. I need to warn Mashu. Soon, Ritsuka arrived at where Mashu is. Mashu, we've got to go now. However, Mashu gave him a different answer from what he was expecting. Eh? But senpai, can't we stay here a bit longer? Mashu asked. Ritsuka was stunned for a moment. Eh? Mashu, what are you saying? Little did Ritsuka know that there was a small flower petal nearby where Mashu was. Meanwhile, where Shirou and ruler Arturia were. There's nothing wrong with everyone here, Shirou thought as he looked around at the casino room he and ruler Arturia were in. As he did, he then walked around to another corner of the room to see if there was anything suspicious over there as well. Nothing wrong in here as well. Still though, everyone's behavior here is like they don't want to leave. Now then, I should check on Arturia. Shirou then left the area he was in and set off to find ruler Arturia. Soon, he found her. And to his surprise, she was holding a bag of chips. Arturia, did you win all of that? Shirou asked in amazement. Yeah, why? Ruler Arturia replied. Well, just how though? Ruler Arturia let out a long sigh. Well, it's a long story. You see, someone wanted to, want me as his girlfriend, but I didn't allow it. So, he made a bet that if he wins, I'm, his. And if I win, I get all of his earnings. Shirou was slightly mad at the nerve of that someone. That guy. He muttered in anger before calming himself down. Well, at least you won. Yeah. So, did you search anything? No. I couldn't find anything. I see. Well then, we'll have to move on to the next room then. Shirou and ruler Arturia then headed towards the next room. As they did, they were noticed by many people who gazed at them. Some of them even gazed at them jealously. Man, that guy is really lucky. Geez, that couple really likes to show off. TCH, I would kill for a man like him. Shirou let out a small sigh from the stares and words he heard. Shirou, is there something wrong? Ruler Arturia asked. Well, it seems that some of the people here are looking at us, and are not quite fond of us. It was the ruler Arturia grabbed Shirou's arm, holding it right between her breasts and at the same time, inciting the jealousy even further. Ignore them, we've got something to do, remember? Yeah. Soon, both servants continued to search for any clues of magecraft. As they were searching for clues, it was then a waiter came up to them. Excuse me, you two, would both of you would like a lotus petal? Lotus petal? Is that this hotel's specialty? Shirou asked. Yes. Try it, it's good. Shirou and ruler Arturia each grabbed a lotus petal. As they did, Shirou examined it for a moment and noticed that there was a slight hint of something foreign embedded into it. Arturia, I think it's better if you don't eat this petal. Yeah. There's something suspicious about it. Shirou then projected a small knife and cut the leaf. As he did, he saw a stained liquid coming out of the petal, and it was not natural. Upon seeing this, both Shirou and ruler Arturia looked at each other and nodded. I knew it. These petals are the cause of all this, Shirou said. We need to warn Master about this and tell him not to take a bite out of them, ruler Arturia said. Exactly. Once we do, we need to find the source of these petals and destroy them. Shirou then telepathically called out to Ritsuka. Master. Shirou? Good timing, I need some help right now. Is there something wrong, Master? Yeah. Suddenly, Mashu said she doesn't want to leave this place. Right now, I'm trying to stop her, but she's quite fast. Where are you? We're at the arcade that's nearby the hotel's buffet. Got it. We'll be there. Did something happen? Ruler Arturia asked. Looks like Mashu took a bite of the lotus petal, ruler Arturia said as she overheard the conversation. Yeah. Looks like those lotus petals are dangerous stuff. We need to go to where Master is and help him snap Mashu out of that trance, Shirou said. Now come on. We got to go before Mashu does something crazy. Yeah. Soon, Shirou and ruler Arturia headed over to where Ritsuka and Mashu were by following the directions of the map of the hotel. Eventually, they arrived, where Ritsuka was panting for his life, while Mashu was having the time of her life, playing in the arcade. Master, are you okay? Shirou asked. Why yeah, but trying to stop Mashu in this case, it's really hard, Ritsuka muttered while trying to catch some of his breath. Master, we may have found the source of why people have been missing here, ruler Arturia said. Really? What is it? It's the lotus petal they've been serving to the guests. Those petals? Yeah. Upon examining these lotus petals, I discovered a whiff of a magic liquid embedded in them. The magic must be some sort of narcotic that causes the guests to want to stay here, Shirou said as he brought out a petal. Have you seen something like this earlier? Ah. Now that you mentioned earlier, I did see one nearby where Mashu was resting earlier. Ritsuka said in realization. Exactly. She must have taken a bite out of it earlier. Ritsuka let out a small sigh. Well, at least we know what the problem is, but how do we snap Mashu out of it? Well, try snapping her out of it with a really strong smell. See if that works, ruler Arturia said. Ritsuka nodded and proceeded to leave the arcade for a moment. After a few seconds, he came back with an object that required him to pinch his nose. How's this? Perfect. Now try it out on Mashu, Shirou said. Ritsuka then hanged the object in front of Mashu, hoping to get her attention. However, she didn't snap out of it and continued her behavior. It's not working. Well then, that leaves one option then. find the source of the petals and destroy them. For now, keep an eye on Mashu, master. And what about you? Me and Arturia will find the source of the petals and destroy them. Ritsuka nodded in reply. Very well, Shirou, Arturia, I order both of you to find the source of the lotus petals and destroy them, he commanded. Yes, master. And both servants went out to find the source. You're sure it's down here, Shirou? Ruler Arturia asked as she was following Shirou. Yeah. I'm following the same scent as the magic liquid from the lotus petals coming from over there, Shirou replied as he was following the same scent of magic as the lotus petals. As he was following towards the source, he quickly came to a stop in front of a big door. Here we are, the source of the smell from the lotus petals. Shirou then changed into his usual outfit. Are you ready, Arturia? Ruler Arturia let out a smile. Yeah, I'm ready, she said as she changed into her usual outfit. Very well, here we go. Shirou then busted down the door, with Ruler Arturia following him. As she did, they dropped their mouths, because of what was in front of them. In front of them was a giant green plant monster that looked like a fusion of a bunch of purple lotus flower bulbs, tentacles, and some skulls. The monster itself was grotesque as there were corpses of people around it as well along letting out some unsettling sounds. Not only that, but there were some people in robes who appeared to be worshipping it. All in all, both Shirou and Ruler Arturia were grossed out from looking at it. Well, looks like we definitely found it. The thing that's making the lotus petals. Yeah, and there seems to be some people here as well. I'm guessing they're cult members, Ruler Arturia said. Definitely. Hey! Who let these people in? Right in the Lotus Corpse Flowers room, one cult member yelled. Lotus Corpse Flower? Shirou and Ruler Arturia thought in unison. Great! Now we'll be exposed to the entire world if we let them escape, another cult member yelled. No matter, they'll meet their end like the others before them, a third cult member yelled. Get them! Soon, every person that was in the room went up against Shirou and Ruler Arturia, charging against them. However, the two were able to defeat them quickly as they simply knocked them out. Alright, now we got to deal with this monster plant, Shirou said. Yeah, Ruler Arturia said. However, in that instant, the monster unleashed one of its tentacles at Shirou, prompting Arturia to act. Shirou! Move, she yelled. Upon hearing Ruler Arturia's words, he quickly dodged the incoming tentacle, creating a hole in the wall in the process. TCH, looks like it's a bit nimble, he said as he unsheathed his katana. Yeah. Looks like we need to be careful, Ruler Arturia said as she brought out her cards. Soon, a battle commenced between Shirou and Ruler Arturia against the corpse flower. As the battle commenced, the lotus corpse flower unleashed its tentacles against the duo, which they dodged effectively. As they dodged the tentacles, they began to slash them off, hoping to influence the monster. However, to their surprise, the monster then regenerated its missing parts. Really? Regeneration? Seriously? Shirou thought. Well, looks like this is going to be a lot harder than we thought, Ruler Arturia said. Yeah. The battle then continued as the duo were cutting the tentacles off the monster while the monster kept regenerating them back, creating an endless loop. Eventually, both were almost at their limit as they were struggling to beat the monster. TCH. This is taking too long, just how can we beat it? Shirou thought. In that instant, a tentacle was heading towards Shirou again, prompting Arturia to act. Shirou! Move, she yelled as she pushed him aside. Shirou then fell to the ground. Arturia, he yelled as he recovered. However, as he did, he saw ruler Arturia, who was being held on by one of the monster's tentacles, and was dangling upside down with no way to move her arms as it was latched onto them tightly. Emiya Shirou! Ruler Arturia yelled. At that moment, Shirou felt a surge of anger inside of him, and jumped at the tentacle. "Get your slimy hands off of her," he yelled as he cut it down. As he did, he then grabbed Arturia, carrying her bridal style as they landed onto the ground. "Are you okay, Arturia?" "Why yeah. Thank you, Shirou," ruler Arturia replied. Shirou then released ruler Arturia from her clutches. As he did, he then noticed a seedling that was on the bottom. "A seedling? Under there, that's it." Shirou then projected his bow along with grunting. "Shirou?" ruler Arturia asked. "Arturia, there's a seedling on the bottom of the lotus corpse flower. We're going to slash it down to prevent its regeneration. Can you help me?" "Yeah. Great. Now then, let's move." Soon, the duo then lunged at the seedling itself, dodging the tentacles in the process. Eventually, they reached the seedling, where they unleashed a barrage of attacks on it. "Take this," they both yelled as Shirou slashed the seedling while ruler Arturia threw her cards at it, slicing it down to bits. At that moment, the monster stopped moving as it was screaming in pain, and it began to rot, piece by piece until nothing of it remained. "Well then, looks like everything should be back to normal now that it's been destroyed," Shirou said with a sigh of relief. "Yeah, let's head to Master now to check on Mashu." Soon, Shirou and ruler Arturia began to leave the room. As they did, ruler Arturia asked Shirou a question. "Hey Shirou? What is it? When all of this is over, can we spend some time together, alone?" For a moment, Shirou was silent before giving her his answer. "Yeah." Ruler Arturia let out a smile. Meanwhile with Ritsuka and Mashu. "Yahoo, let's stay here a bit more, senpai." Mashu yelled excitedly as she was playing another arcade game. Ritsuka let out a sigh. "See, can we go now, Mashu?" "No. I want to stay here a bit longer." Ritsuka sighed again. "Shirou, Arturia, please hurry." As if Ritsuka's prayers were answered, Mashu slowly stopped playing the arcade game. What am I doing here?" Ritsuka let out a smile. "Mashu, you're back to normal," he said with happiness as he gave her a hug, much to Mashu's surprise. "What? Senpai? What's going on? And what am I doing here?" Mashu asked, clueless with what was going on. "Well, it's a long story. Back to the hotel everyone was staying at. So that's what happened after I took a bite out of that petal," Mashu said while embarrassed at the same time. "Yeah. You went a little crazy and started to play every arcade game in the arcade," Ritsuka said. For a moment, silence occurred between the two as they were trying to think of something to say. Senpai, I missed dash. It's not your fault, Mashu. If I didn't leave you behind back then none of this would have happened," Ritsuka interrupted. "Still though, it's my fault for trying out the lotus petal when one of the employees gave me one of them." Ritsuka let out a sigh and decided to change the conversation. Anyways, now that Shirou and Arturia managed to destroy the source of the missing people, everything back in Las Vegas should be fine. All we need to do is give a report back to the director. Yeah, speaking of which, where are Shirou-san and Arturia-san? Them? They should be resting in their room right now. I see. Should we call them? Nah, let them rest for a while. They've already done their job. Plus, Shirou asked me for some alone time. I see. Silence occurred as Mashu was slightly depressed from what happened earlier. Wow. Mashu seems to be really depressed about this. Is there anything that I can do for her? As Ritsuka was in his thoughts, he then turned to the city of Las Vegas down below him. It was then an idea came into his head. Hey Mashu. What is it, senpai? Well, if it will make you feel any better, do you want to go shopping with me tomorrow? Mashu was surprised with Ritsuka's request. Eh? Are you sure, senpai? Yeah. We only have a few days here left until we head back to Chaldea, so why not spend it relaxing ourselves? Are you okay with it? For a moment, Mashu was silent, making Ritsuka wonder if she was still depressed. However, it was then she let out a smile. Yes, senpai. And thus, the two spend their next day together in the Las Vegas Strip. Oh, make misunderstanding. Well, that was fun, senpai. Mashu said with a smile on her face as she and Ritsuka were heading back to the hotel, with shopping bags in their hands. Yeah. Although a bit more expensive than what I heard from my friend, but whatever, what's done is done, Ritsuka replied. Mashu nodded. Speaking of which, I wonder what Shirou-san and Arturia-san are doing. I don't know. They're probably doing their own thing, I guess. You want to check on them? Well, fine, but just for a short moment. Ritsuka and Mashu then used the elevator and headed up to where Shirou's and ruler Arturia's room were. Well, let's see what they're up to, Ritsuka said. However, when they got closer to their room, they heard certain sounds and phrases. MMH. Have some self-restraint, ruler Arturia said. Yeah. Then how about here? Shirou asked. Not there, don't. It'll feel better soon. MNGH. See? Looks like you've been holding it in too. Both Ritsuka and Mashu blushed upon hearing the sounds coming from the room. WWW, what is this? Are they having sex? They thought in unison. Here? Shirou asked. Over there is, stop, ruler Arturia replied. Sorry, did that hurt? No. But please be a bit softer next time. Yes. At that moment, both Ritsuka and Mashu bolted out of there and headed towards their rooms in embarrassment, thinking they were hearing them having sex. Little did they know, Shirou was only giving ruler Arturia a massage.